Welcome back to the Rawclimbing channel, and hello from still icy and snowy Finland. Although today is a beautiful day, the sun is shining, and I am on my way to the gym for today's training. Today I'm taking a break from board climbing. Instead I will climb on the newest comp style boulders at BK Espoo. To give you some context, the BK gyms have this nice tradition of setting some comp style boulders once a month. I have also been in the setting team for these problems, so I know the problems and I've already climbed on them, but I thought it might be an interesting challenge to try to climb these problems in one session. Alright, so I thought I will jump into voiceover mode. Here you can see me climbing on the easiest problem, I guess, or one of the easiest. As I said, it's a commercial competition, so to say, which means that the boulder problems are for all the customers, also for those who haven't been climbing that long and who enjoy climbing on easier problems, and that's why there is quite a lot of easier and moderate problems in the whole competition set. In total there are 28 problems, I think, and you will see that they increase in difficulty. So as the video progresses you will see me struggling more frequently. Here in the beginning it's more of a warm-up, but still the problems are nice, and also the easier problems have some trickeries. So for example, here there is this sequence where you turn your right hand into this undercling, and then the whole problem climbs very nicely. Otherwise it's a bit awkward to climb if you don't do this twisting. Here the next problem is relatively basic, I would say. It's mostly jugs on a steep wall, and if you have the strength then you can do it quite easily, I think. But yeah, I think the competition problems are often more tricky than hard in a physical sense. That's also what you can see in harder competition problems. And there's this endless discussion about grades when it comes to comp style boulders. And for example, the route setters in the World Cups, they used to give out grades for the problems, but then they stopped doing that, because the problems often were not that hard grade-wise in their opinion. So it could very well be that, for example, some World Cup final problems were around 7B or 7B plus in the Fontainebleau scale, and then a lot of people thought that the problems were not that hard and that they can climb these grades in their gym and stuff like that. But of course the problems are hard, because it's the very best climbers in the world who climb them and who struggle doing them. But it's just the whole competition setting which makes it hard to climb these problems. And yeah, here I got a bit confused. I was not very well warmed up at this point, and I underestimated this yellow and black problem and climbed it pretty badly, I would say. But luckily I could find my way to the top. So this was the first problem where I actually struggled, and I think this is a very good example for the phenomenon I was talking about before. This problem is not very hard grade-wise, in my opinion. If you do everything correctly, you don't even need that much strength. But on the other hand, it's very technical, and you can see me here struggling big time. It's a lot about body positioning, and I think as soon as your hips are not in the right place and as soon as your center of gravity is a little bit off, you just cannot hold this gray volume with your left hand. And I think here I'm now leaning outwards to the left to get my left foot on this diamond shaped volume, and this was in the end the trick which helped me to do this crossover with the right hand into the pink sloper. And then when you're there, it's not that hard any longer. You can do this sneaky knee bar with your right knee to match the top hold. And yeah, in the end it was a great problem. I really liked that one. So this is, I think, the trickiest slab in the whole set. There is this collection of volumes and then a very, very small chip which helps you to stand up. And yeah, the beginning is a running start where you have to catch this toe hook because the right starting hold is really bad, and then you have to lean over, and yeah, I hit my shin quite badly. But then luckily I could keep it together and do this transition, although you can see that I'm a bit scared now after I hit my shin on the gray volume. And after this running start there is this mental-like movement where you have to stand up on these volumes, and now I bump my left hand into this small chip. This is one of the problems that I set for the competition. And yeah, initially I wanted to do it without this small chip, but I just could not do it, and that's why I decided to add this tiny chip to unlock the whole sequence. So the next one is a slab as well, but quite different in style. It is very thin and there is hardly anything to grab, just very, very tiny screw-ons all the way up. I think it's probably a bit easier than the red one. Yeah, but still it's relatively tricky and it's easy to mess up. So first you do this step through, little traverse to the left, and then problem goes back to the right. So this is now the physically hardest problem of the whole set, in my opinion. And it was maybe not the smartest thing to put it last, because I was already a bit tired, and this problem is very physical and there's not so much trickery about it. You just have to squeeze these slopers, and it's also a relatively long problem. I think it has 11 moves, so if you're already a bit tired, then you can even get pumped on these moves. And there I fell 2 moves short of the top, and then I kept trying, but I couldn't do this problem any longer. So unfortunately I ended up doing just 27 out of the 28.